What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. On this Monday series, we talk about new tech that's been announced, tech I don't currently have in my hands, but that I'm excited about, and I want to bring attention to it for you all who, you guys are kind of like me, you like new tech. So interestingly enough, something I've thought about in the past is what if I, use my Apple Watch only for a while or for a weekend where, I get the cellular version of my Apple Watch. I used to have the Ultra. What if I went a whole weekend without my phone and just use my Apple Watch? And while that's a great idea, I didn't actually get to try that out before I sold my Apple Watch Ultra, and now I have the Series 7 just GPS version, so can't really do that. But it's something I've thought a lot about because I think it's a really interesting idea because they can be connected to the internet, because you can text on it, you can call on it. There's a lot you can do that acts as a phone. And I know a lot of you out there, I've had comments of people saying, hey, I just use my Apple Watch sometimes by itself, and that's a cool feeling. And I have a phone in your pocket, blah, blah, blah. Introducing today, tinyPod, which is a company who took this idea and ran with it. And they have created this device where you put your Apple Watch into the device, and it basically is used as an iPod. It looks like an iPod. Let's go ahead and we're just going to kind of scroll down their web. First of all, the marketing, the website, fantastic. Whether you love the device or not, we're going to get into that, but let's just check out the beauty that is this website. Here's the concept, which is super cool and exciting. And I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I mean, right out of the gate, like if you haven't seen this yet, this is a cool idea, right? Like, I love this. There's also something special for some reason as a side note of just like using your Apple Watch like this, or taking off the bands and just using like this little tiny device just like this. I don't know what it is. That just feels really cool. And so I think this is a step in that direction. And if you can imagine having a phone this size, check that out. I think that that's a cool look. It has a scrolly wheel. It's very reminiscent of iPod Classic in the old days. So anyway, reinventing the wheel a tiny bit, right? So it's funny because it's like everything you need, like it's its own device, but like obviously if you have an Apple Watch, you know that you have access to all this stuff. But I think what's interesting is at the bottom of actually buying this, they actually tell you some prices where you can get Apple Watches for cheaper on Amazon or wherever it might be. So it's cool. They're kind of trying to help you buy a device if you don't even have one yet. With the scroll wheel you love, yeah, it's basically a piece of silicone and plastic that you just put your device into. The scrolly wheel gets connected to the wheel on the side of your device, so it just kind of works that way. They also make a version which you can, I'll show you here in a second. This one here, want to go extra minimal, try tinyPod Lite, which doesn't even have the scroll wheel. It just gives you access to the scroll wheel on the side of your Apple Watch. So I think these things are super cute looking. I think this will be kind of fun to throw in my pocket during the weekend while I'm at home with the kids. If you do have a cellular Apple Watch that you pay for or you use, throw this in your pocket. The weirdest thing to me is obviously like phone calls. You're not going to hold it up like this. It does have to be speakerphone, as well as just some little things. I mean, I think it's cool ergonomic design to be able to do like swipe to text and stuff, especially with the bigger screened Apple Watches that came out when they did come out with the full keyboard. That's going to matter a lot. They have one for Ultra and then the other two sizes as well. And look here at the bottom, like I mentioned before, don't have an Apple Watch, get one for a steal. It gives you like the lowest price on Amazon, so you can pick one of these up. You can even do this with the Apple Watch Series 4. I think it's interesting they used the upside down version of the Apple Watches over here for some reason. Basically, in my opinion, you'd want to go the 45 millimeter option or the Ultra option just to have a little bit more screen real estate. And I don't actually think the smaller 41 to 40 millimeter, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if they even have the full keyboard when you're doing text and stuff like that. So obviously you can now, I mean, you've been able to for a while now, but you can connect your AirPods to the Apple Watch. I don't know. It seems like a cool little weekender kind of idea for a device. You, of course, have to disable, your passcode and stuff like that, so the device can always be on and accessible. I don't think the middle of the scrolly wheel is a click button. I guess it could be, or maybe that's pushing in of the side of the device. I don't know if that would work, though. Anyway, I don't know, some of these gestures and things might be a little finicky to get used to, but this is cool. I think this is kind of one of those products where you're like, duh, why isn't this been around before, on the flip side, I think it's kind of silly, to be completely honest with you, or you could wear it on your wrist. That's my thought with this. It's like, yeah, that's fun, and it's retro, and it kind of throws it back. And I think that's what this has a lot to do with, that nostalgic iPod use. It's definitely a different kind of feel. It's a new kind of experience. I'd love to try one out for a weekend, but at the end of the day, the question is always going to be, or this, I guess, statement is always going to be, or just wear it on your wrist because it's a watch. But I think I've reached out to tinyPod to see if they would send me one to review, and I haven't gotten a response yet. But if I do get my hands on one, I'll definitely review it on the channel. As you know, I love talking about dumb tech and ways of using tech more intentionally and have less distractions, all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and like this video for more. Watch this video next. I think you're going to love it. Check the link down in the description. I'll leave a link to the tinyPod, and also feel free to sign up for my newsletter, which goes behind the scenes on this channel, a little bit more into how I do things on the channel, but also a little bit more of my thoughts into these various products that we talk about on the channel. So if that sounds cool to you, subscribe to the newsletter. I'd love to have you over there. Thanks so much for watching. Check out the tinyPod, and I'll see you guys in the next one.